Day 28 of the Silent Hill 2 Remake Cam Hack playthrough. Getting through the hotel, the lake, space, view, space, hotel. And looking at all the details that we can find. So we've already picked up one of the books we need. Not that one. Wait, didn't we pick up? Oh, right, we don't pick up that book. We get the can opener from it. So we looked at that particular book, the Book of Gremory, a Duke of Demons in actual historical demonology. But we have several other books here. Curious if any of these are references to anything. The One Who Soared, Alice Burroughs. Possibly a reference to Edgar Rice Burroughs. As far as authors' names go. But not a real thing. More of a direct reference to the puzzle at hand. Are we still looking for a can of light bulbs? Yes, we are, Gohan. Yes, we are. It was not in the kitchen that the original can was in. But I'm still holding out faith. Holding on to my beliefs. That somewhere in this hotel, there must be a can with light bulbs in it. It would be so strange. Out of all the other references and all the other Easter eggs that Bloober Team's included in this game, for them to have not a single mention or reference of the canned light bulbs. It just... It wouldn't make sense. Revelations. A new understanding. Little picture of an angel with a halo icon on the spine of the book. Head of the eagle on the One Who Soars. So you can see we're getting our characters and corresponding books. Angel with the damaged wings. The eagle. Are we fancy about this book? No, we are not. No fancy fingers. Or the books. What about the one who soared? It'd be kind of funny if one of them made James feel fancy and not the others. Pride Before the Fall by Leonard E. Niavos. Okay. We have cute little references. So the one who soared is a reference to the eagle. Alice Burroughs. Alice Burroughs. I'm not sure what that author name might reference. Revelations: A New Understanding. No author. This one, Pride Before the Fall, Leonard E. Niavos. This one corresponds with the lion. A group of lions is called a pride. Pride Before the Fall. And also Leonard, Leo, the lion, E. Niavos is the author. It's like an onion. There's layers. No fanciness. No fancy fingers. And stalwart to the end. No author. The Chicago Bulls. Yeah, we're not feeling fancy about our books. Author name sounds like burrows. A burrow is a rabbit hole, isn't it? So Alice Rabbit Hole, like Alice in Wonderland. How does that equate to eagle? Like Pride and Leo correspond to lion. The rabbit hiding from the predator? I mean, yeah, eagles eat rabbits. Laura even drew a picture of a rabbit running from a bird when we were in Brookhaven. Now that you mention it. Rabbit is most certainly Laura's motif. Which is kind of funny. That was something that was not a part of the OG. In the original, the only thing animal related, well, there's two things when it comes to Laura. We know that Laura likes bears, like teddy bears. It's something that's mentioned by Maria when she's recalling some of her memories from when she was Mary during the Born from a Wish sub scenario. You can examine a teddy bear. She's like, oh, I think Laura would like this. Laura loves bears. And then she kind of has to stop herself and be like, who's Laura? Why do I know a Laura? How do I know that she likes bears? Whose memories are these? Part of her kind of revelation into who she is, what she was created from. And cats was the other thing. So in the remake, Laura draws a picture of a bunny, herself being represented as the bunny, and a friendly dog in the piano room of the hotel after meeting James, sort of signifying that she was viewing James as this angry wolf, but then she starts warming up to him and is now viewing him like this friendly dog. But in the original, she draws a picture of a cat. And James can examine it and has kind of a passing thought, like, I wonder if she likes cats. There's also a drawing of a cat, like a child's painting of a cat, on the wall outside of Woodside Apartments when you first meet Laura. Well, other than her stepping on your hand. History of what is it? Psychology. Trying to get a good shot of it. God. The controls are already awkward enough, and now my hand is burned. Please. Just let me see the book. Anyway, we've seen it in a previous part. It says History of Psychology. They spelled psychology wrong. So many books. I feel like if you're going to hide any sort of reference or Easter egg in book form, this would be the place to do it. But it's a lot of book assets we've already seen. There's a History of Psychology backwards. Hey, what's up, Mizzy? Going pretty well so far. What's up, Hank? No light bulbs yet. That's the real thing that I want. That is the real thing I want to see. Yeah, history. Many copies of History of Psychology. So many copies. There's there's like two of them right next to each other. Very popular book. There's two more on the bottom shelf right below it. Is that loss? This one? Not quite. Not quite. God, imagine Bloober Team working in a loss reference at this point in the game. Nothing that says Life and Reality Bookwise. That's the one by Kaufman. No. I was hoping maybe they would repeat. There's so many other books here. I was hoping they'd repeat some of their Easter egg books to give me a chance to see the Kaufman one, since apparently I missed that earlier in the playthrough. Or the Charles Holloway History of Toluca Lake book that we found. Little homecoming reference. Or any of the cult members' books in the prison cell. You figure if you're gonna repeat some book assets, just throw everything here into the reading room. But no, it looks like they went with a lot of their more generic ones and just kind of repeated them, and then a lot of copies of Psychology. Scary Girl Face is here though, isn't it? That one was in a box of books, yeah. That was in the Lost and Found on the first floor. Found that yesterday. But yeah, a lot of repeated books. More generic ones. Not as many book Easter eggs as I would have thought they'd try to squeeze in. And then a few of these. Chester Palligut's Jewel Society. There's another copy of that one downstairs. And then, like, a lot of these are not actually textured. It's just the spines of them. plant. Yep. Book on botany. Some of these look like they've got textures from like pieces of artwork. Kind of hard to tell from such a small kind of sliver of it. Geometric, like fractal patterns. This one looks like it had a price tag on it, 48 point something. Fork and knife, a recipe book or a cookbook. But yeah, they don't even have covers. You try to clip into it, it's all sort of like hollow objects. Not like this one where you can clip through the top one and see that the one underneath is like a full texture. These are all just hollow. Well, got our 4 books. We've got our clue in the painting itself. Just want to try to look at the details of it. The way it's painted, like it vaguely resembles like an audience watching in the stands, but it's all somewhat abstract. Can you really zoom in and try to look? Audience looks AI. I don't know. Bloober Team's been doing sort of detailed painting stuff being in their games for a pretty long time now. Since Layers of Fear. I doubt they would resort to using AI. Haven't really found anything else looking at all the other assets throughout the game. That looks like AI. There's definitely placeholder stuff. We've found templates of like there was like floppy disks in sitting around computers in Brookhaven where it has like your text here still written on them, where they got probably just, you know, an existing asset that somebody else made for Unreal Engine. Because we know that they pull other people's assets and other 3D models that people have made and use them in the game. It's not all made from scratch, you know. But some of those assets are made as templates for you to like fill in your own information. And we found some of the templates are still default, like your text here type of stuff. And lorem ipsum. Stuff that looks placeholder, but not generative AI. So here's our clue. Right in the middle of these 4 bookshelves where we're supposed to place our books are 2 spears, but the heads of the spears are pointed up. Whereas the painting, the man impaled with the spears, they're pointing down. Little bit of fun imagery here. By fun, I mean, kind of morbid and dark and everything, but this means that you're supposed to be looking at your hints, your clues through this painting upside down. Now you turn this upside down, and we have a person hanging upside down, impaled by spears. Not to spoil the end of this game for anybody who hasn't actually seen it. You shouldn't be watching this, but that should be familiar. That should seem familiar to you. We're getting some visual foreshadowing to Maria and the 2 pyramid heads. But if we're looking at this upside down for the sake of solving the puzzle, angel up in the top left, bull below the angel, eagle in the top right, and lion below the eagle. Angel. Bull. Eagle. And lion. I love that dust effect. Oh yeah. And there's lying figures crawling around over there. Painting showing us what we're supposed to do. Red light up above the mirror, the briefcase on the bed. Did James just gasp? I think he's reacting to all the dust. He does a similar thing when you pull the blanket covering the jukebox and stuff like that. The numbers. What do they mean? 1881. 787, 89, 76, 896, 98, 77. Just folders and numbers. Same exact thing. Same texture on that folder. Repeated on these over here. Another one, much more faded down here. All the same pattern. These are Brookhaven patient notes. Date and treatment. On the surface, the patient appears stable and lucid. Conscious of their surroundings and expresses something confidently. Is that last one? How deep they run? It's not run. How deep they run. That doesn't really make sense. That also wasn't a note that we found in Brookhaven, was it? I don't think so. Patient is responding well to the new therapy. It's actually astonishing how quickly the surrogate, how quickly he accepted the surrogate. He's completely engrossed himself in the scenario. Sometimes I worry. Is it wrong something faded there? He blames himself for the daughter he never had, so I gave her to him. That almost coincides with Joseph Barkin in the original Silent Hill 2, but he was obsessed with his actual daughter who died. He seems happy, perhaps that all that matters. So this is supposed to be delusional patient, that note that you find in Brookhaven about why must we drag them painfully into our world of reality if they're happy in their delusion, essentially. A little bit more of a direct patient note. I don't think we find a note like this in Brookhaven, though. And then there's something handwritten there. Want nub on my crossword team? What a talent. Hey, I've been playing a lot of Wheel of Fortune lately. The patience, something, something. The associated something are too deep. Seeing something other. Come up with a treatment that, while unconstitutional, might bring about some positive results. We decided not to inform the staff of the special something set up. Special space set up. Something the mirror? They won't. They wouldn't understand. Early results. Something on. So it's talking about a mirror. Specifically setting a patient up with a mirror. Which is a part of this puzzle. He blames himself for the daughter he never had. Okay, so that's stuff repeated. Each of these, like, stacks of paper are the same note repeated. There's a Brookhaven Hospital memo in this folder as well. Brookhaven Hospital, something. Hey girl, can I peep at your patient records? What I wouldn't give to be able to just tell James, like, pick this up and open it. Read, motherfucker. Please. Treatment, yeah. There's another Brookhaven Hospital memo, but I think it's the same. I think it's this same one. Just stuck in there. What about the date? Was there a date? There's a case number, not a date. And then there's something handwritten there that's a bit hard to read. That looks like the word happy. Something happy, something... Last part looks like T apostrophe, like E-T apostrophe S. Oh yeah, Oleander. If he seems happy, then that's all that matters. It's repeating the typed text, just written by hand. Still, kind of emphasizing that part of it. There's another one down there. The case number is different. And the texture on the paper is different. I gotta start learning how to do data mining. Just rip all these asset files and look at them directly in a model viewer. Instead of messing with this finicky ass camera mod. That'll be the next playthrough to work on. You've seen the cam hack playthroughs, now it's time for the data mine playthrough. And I'm failing her. So this is about a different patient. This is about the female patient from Brookhaven, most likely. Also, there are technically dates. You have month and day. It's like November 4th, November 6th. Something something session. The patient noted on a piece of paper and proceeded to twist it. Seemingly deliberate. Twist it into a seemingly deliberate shape. I didn't object. as it seemed to have brought her some comfort. That sounds familiar. That, I think, was a memo we read in the Brookhaven room with the bubbling tub. There's like a memo on a bench in that room. That sounds familiar. I think this was actually one from Brookhaven that we saw. Still have any of those in inventory? I don't think those are the ones that James picks up. But we can check. I think those are the ones that he'll read, like, in place. But yeah, not any of the ones that he actually picks up. I think they wanted to separate, like, world building memos from puzzle solving memos to try to make it less confusing on players, like getting stuck and sifting through memos to try to find the relevant ones. So you only really pick up ones that are kind of like progression or puzzle related. And most of those are just flavor text, world building. But still, interesting. Even if this one is a repeat, this one right here up top, I don't remember seeing this one at all in Brookhaven. It's possible it was there and I just missed it, but the fact that it's talking about like a patient therapy with a mirror right next to this does not seem like a coincidence. Like, that seems like an intentional placement. Is that a drawing? What is that supposed to be? Then we just get random monster noises from the lying figures in the hallway next to us. Okay, 1102. This is the same female patient note. Is that like the spout on an IV bag? This thing here? Little like metal part? It looks like the separators when you have those big like file folders. They usually have like a little metal track where you can put dividers. So it's like somebody just grabbed all of the folders out of like one of those big forget what they're called. They look like accordions. They're like big file folder holders. They have these little metal tracks on the side so that you can squeeze a whole bunch of folders into a small space and have little dividers separating them out. Binders? It's not exactly like a binder. I think there's like a specific word for it, and my brain's just not working today. Patient just sits there, twiddling their fingers. That was a Brookhaven note. We read that one in Brookhaven as well. I remember the twiddling their fingers patient memo. So I think those are repeats. Nice camera. Someone was taking photographs. Photographers. Lateral files. That sounds more correct to repoison. God, now I'm just gonna have to start Googling shit because my brain's not working. A lateral file organizer. Because it's not like a full-on cabinet. It's basically like a portable file cabinet. Although Silent Hill Origins does have little portable metal file cabinets that you can chuck at monsters. Trying to see if there's any writing or details on the camera. Doesn't appear that way. More folders with numbers up here. Little clippings from, like, looks like newspapers. Yeah, there's another one of those things with the metal track part still on it. Interesting. I love the 3 exclamation points James draws on his map for this room. Is he indicating that there are 3 important things to pick up in here, each of the photos? The door photo. And they go out of their way to make sure the format of these is different than the strange photos, that these are actually relevant to the puzzle, where you're supposed to find kind of each of these things to solve what you're doing here. You got to find the light bulb, you've got to find the paint, and you've got to find the can opener. Whereas in the original Silent Hill 2, this was one of the puzzles where there was a bunch of photographs on the bed that were marked out with paint or ink. You had to find paint thinner and put paint thinner on them to remove the ink to get a word that you would put into the briefcase in order to get one of the music boxes for the original music box puzzle. So the door photo, the stain photo. And the gate photo. Also, yeah, we're not feeling fancy about these photos. Love the fingerprints, thumbprint stuck onto a lot of the pictures and textures. Help. Mild. Note. That was also a fun part, quote unquote fun part, of the original Silent Hill 2 puzzle. The original briefcase puzzle. Oh, hold on. Interesting. Just like a big rectangle in the reflection on the curtains. Probably just meant to be like a light source. Where the light's coming in a little bit. But in the original Silent Hill 2, this briefcase that held the music box had 22 possible words from a list of 4-letter words, and it was random every time you play the game what the combination was. And eventually people figured out a way to manipulate the RNG. You could manipulate what seed the game sort of put you on, because it was all done from the very start of Silent Hill 2. Like, as soon as you start your game, you pick your difficulty and hit start game. All of your RNG for all your randomized puzzles would be locked in from the very, very beginning. So speedrunners figured that out, and basically through repeated execution, very, very to the frame, precise execution, you could consistently start the game in such a way that you would almost always land on this relatively small group of seeds for all the puzzle solutions. So once you got to the first randomized puzzle, which was the grandfather clock in Woodside Apartments, the starting position of the hands was randomized. Once you saw what time the hands were set to before you put them in the correct positions, you would know what seed you were on, as long as you were starting the game the exact same way every time. So eventually people figured it out and developed a method to know what all of the puzzle solutions would be ahead of time by doing that. Before that was a thing, that was discovered in like 2017 or something, I want to say. When I started running the original Silent Hill 2 in 2015, the previous method was just do everything as fast as you can. So the method for that briefcase was to cycle through all 22 possible words, all the 4-letter word combinations for the briefcase, as fast as possible with as few inputs as possible. So there was a sequence from word to word that I memorized and that a lot of runners memorized. So you would start with mama, M-A-M-A. Then you could do 2 clicks on the first dial, 2 clicks on the last dial, and mama would become damn, D-A-M-N. You would repeatedly do that to cycle through all of the words. So you'd go from mama to damn to dark to dose to lose to love to luck to lock, kill, hell, help, and so on and so forth until you went through all the words. And basically, for speedrunners, like, if you didn't get it on the first, like, 2 or 3 words, and you were going for really, really, like, optimized world record times, you'd probably just reset. Be like, is it mama? No. Is it damn? No. Reset. But just for practice, I went through and memorized that whole list. And the most efficient way to cycle through all those dials and try every possible word as quickly as possible. And then it became irrelevant a couple years later, because then you had to learn how to manipulate the RNG instead. Speedrunning is a science. Speedrunning is kind of amazing. Even stuff that seems relatively simple or straightforward from the viewer standpoint, like for people who are just kind of watching, a lot of times it can be hard to tell how much accumulation of knowledge had to go into learning a particular run or trick or route, and how much time and execution and practice went into. Because if you're just watching, it just looks like you're clicking things quickly and cycling through words. Like, there's a lot of stuff that can seem somewhat mundane, but when you actually run it and try it yourself, like, you realize kind of how crazy it is to get to a point where you can remember all that and execute all of that while doing it all quickly and efficiently on top of every other part of the run. I like speedrunning. I haven't done a whole lot of speedrunning in recent years, but it's still something that I really, really love. We need to go check 202 and 203. Like you mentioned with the door, down here in Lakeview Hotel. Hey, wait, Nub. What is it, Oleander? Do you remember the picture we saw on Woodside? Gonna have to be a little more specific. The one hidden behind the mirror, the reason why I keep shooting the glass. That sort of looked like the arch. Oops. Arch of the elevator or club downstairs. Just stop. was tacked to a red wall in Woodside. And I mentioned it sort of looked like the original Silent Hill 2 elevator frame near Venus. That, okay, that I remember. What did we see here that reminded you of that? You told us a story about speedrunning, about having to jump into that frame. Yeah, I would use that frame to align myself with an out-of-bounds skip in the original Silent Hill 2. Was wondering if it was possible that picture could be reflected here. Oh, like, would it be in the same place in this version of the hotel? We could check. The layout for this hotel is so much different, though. So, yeah, the layout is, like, so different. So imagine if the entrance to the hotel was further this way, where you would go in, and then you'd turn right. You'd have the stairs going down to the Venus bar this way, and then instead of an exit right here, this would be the piano room where you run into Laura. So you would go down the stairs here, and the archway would be this over here on the left. There's like a bathroom instead of an elevator right here that you can't open. There's no hallway here. It's just this part right here would all just be like a solid wall. And then this right here would be that corner with those boards and kind of framing of the wall. Because the way that out of bounds trick would work is in the original Silent Hill 2, down here was one area, and then you'd go upstairs, you'd go through a little loading area, and then upstairs was a completely different zone. But by quick saving, you would, instead of zoning into the next area, you would just run out of bounds coming up the stairs. And then you could run along out of bounds sort of at floor level in this lower area zone without everything up above you being loaded. So you'd be running out of bounds kind of on the ceiling here. But when you do that, your camera sort of gets stuck over here. So what I would do is I would line up the corner of this hallway to know which direction James was running. Because once you're out of bounds, it's just a black void. You don't really know. You don't have any point of reference to know where you're going. So I would use this corner to line up where I was running with James to run out of bounds. And we would use that to skip the employee elevator so that you don't have to interact with the shelf and put all your stuff away because that's slow and it takes a lot of time. But yeah, the layout is like so different. And even that little hallway there is just, it's too different. It's too different. But I don't mind checking. Definitely don't mind that. Silent Hill flower deliveries. Perfect flowers for perfect occasions. Bestsellers. Lilies, chrysanthemums, hydrangeas, gardenias, gladioli, carnations, daffodils, hyacinths, violets, roses, orchids, and more. 20% off for wedding bouquets. Call us. 1207. What kind of number is 1207? And how do you get numbers from this? How does James manage to see this with numbers? Silly Europeans with their silly numbers, yeah. American phone numbers are not formatted that way. Maine's area code is 207. So if you were making the call internationally, you would dial 1 and then 207, but again, that would mean you're outside of the country calling Maine. And just to emphasize sort of the time period as well, we're supposed to be somewhere between the 80s and 90s based on everything that we know. No exact date, but somewhere between late 70s and mid 90s or so. Definitely no later than 1999. And back then, especially for something like Silent Hill flower deliveries, clearly a local business being advertised, you would just have, there wouldn't even be an area code. Like, you wouldn't have dialed an area code back then. You would just have a 7-digit number. It would just be bum bum bum, your first 3 digits, bum 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 bum, your last 4 digits. Area codes weren't a thing back then. I mean, they were a thing, but they weren't, like, required, especially for local businesses and things like that. You would just have your 7-digit one. This is where we see the music box after doing the broken mirror puzzle. Little marble table. Faux marble. Looks like blue cheese. A little bit. Another clear indicator that this game was made by people who are not American. Our thermostats are in Fahrenheit, not Celsius. Sorry, we use American degrees. We use freedom units. We use freedom units. That's what the F stands for. None of this Celsius nonsense. And don't even ask me who the hell Kelvin is. Freedom units. 202. Do I have 202? All I have is 312. Classic Lakeview? The garden out front's a little bit different. Because you don't have the fountains. We never see the front of Lakeview, do we? In the OG? Yeah, you do. Like, I mean, you walk up to it, you have the, you have the two fountains where you get the mermaid music box. But this looks like the OG Lakeview. Oh, in the remake? No, actually. We can clip out and see it. Nyom. Yeah. You can see all of this is untextured. It never gives you a chance to see this side. They do have some stuff rendered. There's like this little brick area with all the benches. Oh, that's funny. You can see the mannequins. But yeah, it doesn't actually let you go out here in the remake. Posted the OG Lakeview I found. That's her. Let me download that, and we'll just put it on screen to compare. Thank you for that, Oleander. Yeah, very, very similar. Not exact, but extremely reminiscent of the original Lakeview. Could that be a street view? What street? That's Toluca. Nathan Avenue? Oh, like the back end of it from Nathan. I mean, I guess I see what you mean. The front of the building would be facing Nathan Avenue. We row up to the back of the building from the side of the lake, the side of Toluca. So this would be like the front of it that's actually facing Nathan Avenue. But is this water? Like to me, the bottom part of the image looks like reflection. Like the line where the grass and this little like stretch of white kind of ends. Who's up there on the roof? I don't know. Definitely a little reference, though. A little reference to the OG appearance of the lake view. Cool little Easter egg. Really? I already killed you. Alright, that's all the rooms we have here. Oh, I like how James changes his symbols on the map. So when we left the 3 photos on the bed, there were 3 exclamation points, which he has now tried to like rub away. Because we picked them up. He smudges them out. And then he's got a new mark with a circle and vanity mirror written. Same thing for the reading room. All the exclamation points where we picked up the 4 books all get smudged out, but he still leaves a question mark in the reading room, implying that there's still stuff here. Good stuff. Did we even go in? No, that's 202. We went in 201. That's got the little table and the Celsius thermostats. 202 is the mirror puzzle room, which we don't have the actual key to yet. And I'm trying my best not to just sequence break my way through this whole part. As much fun as it can be. What's setting off the radio here? Oh, it's the thing in 207. Gotcha. You. Oh, we can go in there. We can crawl in there. From 206. Gross. Oh God. Where am I? I fell through the void back to the first floor. There we go. Bathroom teleport real? Yeah, there we go. That's our preview of the Silent Hill 1 bathroom teleport. That's exactly how Bloober's gonna do it. Just take the collision out of the floor. So you walk in and you're like, wait a minute, where am I? What a terrible room layout. Hope you don't need to get into most of these drawers. Maga rocks. Instead of Magnavox. Cheap ass hotel. They're knockoff TVs. What are you looking at, James? Are you just looking at the corpse? His head keeps snapping over there. I guess he's looking at the corpse. Probably because it's one of the ones that'll get back up. Do we not get anything in there? Is it just supplies and monsters? Oh yeah, and the Minecraft castle painting. We saw that in the stairwell. And of course, clock. Stopped at 10 past 9. Ragnarox is a YouTuber who's done Silent Hill dissections and Monster of the Week stuff. Yep. Ragnarox mention. I'll be upset if Ragnarox got a reference and not me. Although we did find the texture that looked like it says nub. There is that one, like, ripped up poster texture that looks like it says nub. Okay. I think that's everything over here. Can't help but feel there is something I'm forgetting to pick up. Can't go there yet. We don't have the appearance of the hotel changing yet. We've been through there. There's a door we didn't look at. Oh, yeah, this one. The staff-only door. We already clipped behind this last time. There's nothing. This little area here. Yeah, here's the doors that theoretically would go out to the actual front of the building. It's facing Nathan Avenue. Which just doesn't exist here. I guess this is kind of it. This would be like a little part of the road that would connect to Nathan Avenue. Does it have a facade? Not really. Not really. I mean, there's balconies and doors and stuff. You can see the little chimneys. But I'm glad you brought that up, Oleander. That was honestly something I never really considered. That this should be the actual front of the hotel. The part that we enter from is the back. The part facing the lake. Most people are not going to show up here by boat. You're going to drive up from Nathan Avenue. You would think all of this would be on the other side. All these little banners for the Lakeview Hotel and the like welcome sign. Like the gardens and everything being behind the hotel on the actual part facing the lake. I mean, it's the Lakeview Hotel. You're emphasizing this side of the building that views the lake. But that's not going to be the side that most people arrive in. They're going to show up from here. And instead it's kind of backwards. The front looks more like a back. Granted, we're not really seeing the actual hotel. Nice that they have it actually modeled. Yeah. The fact that there's like a gate and an area, just kind of this side of the building in general, even visible. You never come out here. You're never in a position to see any of this normally. Even some flowers. So what did I forget? I must have forgotten to pick something up somewhere. Because we don't have the 107 key. We have the can opener for the paint. 312 is used much later. We have the rotten apple for the mirror room, but we don't have the key to the mirror room. And then that's all New Game Plus stuff. Also, I didn't pick up Lost Memories in the Lost and Found for Rebirth. We looked at everything with the cam, and I just didn't actually pick the thing up. Give me this. Also, Lost Memories in the Lost and Found. James's finding his old memories. Not feeling fancy about it. No, no. But I do see what you did there, Bloober. Because they switched around where you find these items compared to the OG. Lost Memories, Obsidian Goblet, White Chrism, Crimson Ceremony. I should have made a save. Where was this autosave? Before picking up the photos. I need to make a save before I pick that book up. That's why I was leaving it, and I went against my better judgment. It's okay. We can speedrun this part. Because if I pick that up, then we are guaranteed, like, locked in to the Rebirth ending. And ideally, once we're done with all of this, I want to show a whole bunch of endings. As many endings as I can show. Which means I'm going to need to not pick that book up until the very last possible moment. Like, until I want to show the Rebirth ending, we don't want that book in our inventory. Oh, painting we didn't really look at either. Censored for YouTube. I could probably show this. It's classical artwork for the purpose of education. I'm assuming this is an actual classical painting. Let me try to reverse image search this one. Waterhouse Lamia. John William Waterhouse Miranda and the Tempest, 1916. Now I'm seeing John William Waterhouse Lamia, 1909. Lamia. Lamia. Which is... Lamias are like snake people. Snake ladies. The artist is John William Waterhouse. Let's see. John William Waterhouse. Lamia. Waterhouse's Lamia reflects women's struggle for power through the image of female body in metamorphosis, marking out a vision of precariousness in the transitional period when Victorian Britain is caught between two worlds, the old Victorian and the new modern. Transforming the women's body, you say? Painting representative of Mary sort of becoming Maria? Feels thematic, appropriate. And there's Brookhaven, there's Lakeview Hotel. It's getting too hot, my brain's boiling. Oh hey! We got the sobbing sound effect this time. Because we're outside of 208. It's very, very quiet. But we got the sobbing sound effect. That's something from the original as well. They repeat this number several times to seem to indicate some kind of significance. They never give a direct explanation as to what it is or what it may represent. This is not the room that James and Mary stayed in. A lot of people speculate that it could be the hospital room that Mary was in. But yeah, in the original Silent Hill 2, when you're outside room 208, you can hear the voice of someone faintly crying. And I just heard it here as well. I'm pretty sure that didn't happen just before loading that save. When we came here the first time. Nice. That's all stuff we checked. So that was everything on this side. The vanity mirror. Can't go up there. Can't go through here. Make sure we got everything important out of here. Looked around at all this stuff last time. Here's where I haven't been yet. Mannequin room. The wind jump scare mannequin room. I started to go this way and then went to check everything else first. Oh, that's definitely not up to code. Shouldn't be using a fireplace that has nowhere for the smoke or fire to ventilate. God, the super low, bassy, ambient tone when you're in this room. Also, somebody's red robe, including the belt, like the sash for it. Some red heels. Lady in red. Matrix reference, clearly. Were you watching for the mannequin, pounced, waiting to attack you? Or were you too busy focusing on the woman in the red dress? There's our 202. Look at him. You're so silly. Ow. Oh, I guess we do see this area a little bit when you're out on these balconies. Which is why this is all rendered. It just doesn't register where you are? Yeah, you're just kind of outside for a moment. It feels like it's a random, like, side of the building or something. It doesn't really click that this is, like, the front. What should be the main entrance. Would you ever try out the fogless mod? Maybe, but I don't know. There's not really a whole lot of point to it. Of course, all the mannequins. We've been seeing them since Woodside Apartments. They're literally Maria/Mary's face. Those are Salome Gunnersdottir's facial features. Really nice detail with all the mannequins. They're directly modeled after Mary and Maria's actress. Well, hello there. Who are you? Proprietor of the Lakeview Hotel. And Mr. Lakeview himself. Looks vaguely like one of the wardens in one of the portraits we saw in the prison, because I remember pointing out the sweet chops, the sweet mutton chops, because my good friend Hirimi used to have his own set of sweet chops. I think I have a picture. Hold on. We'll compare. Maybe that's a portrait of Hirimi. Here, let me bring back this image. That's my boy right there. Mr. Hirimi Lakeview. Spitting image. Just look at those sweet chops. Also, that's me playing guitar, by the way. And another friend of ours on drums back in the days when we were musicians. What songs were you playing? Funny enough, we actually did a few Silent Hill song covers. We would play Theme of Laura and stuff like that at open mics and things around Austin. We mostly played covers. We did covers of some Silent Hill songs. We did covers of a Japanese band that we really like that was big influential to us called The Pillows. A lot of people know The Pillows through the anime Fulikuli, FLCL. So we played a lot of Pillows songs. We did some Tenacious D songs. Just kind of whatever stuff we liked and felt like learning to play. We would just go and play at open mics. Did you see the horrible Fooly Cooly continuation? I like to pretend it doesn't exist. There is soundtracks for it at least, which is more good Pillows music. Birdie. Although I can tell from that picture, that photo of us, just based on our facial expressions, what song we were covering when that photo was taken. It's a song called Prisoner Christmas by Brad Neely. A lot of people, you might know Brad Neely from Baby Cakes series of internet animations. And he also did a show that was on Adult Swim called China, Illinois. China, Illinois, China, Illinois. China, Illinois, China, Illinois. China, Illinois, Illinois. But yeah, Prisoner Christmas by Brad Neely, Baby Cakes. Look it up. We were doing a cover of that. And I know that's what we were playing, just based on our facial expressions. Pamacroni. See, I mentioned you gotta screw in a little box to the back of your TV with prongs earlier. If you're gonna hook up a VCR, or your Atari, your Nintendo. Actually, I do want to look at something here. Everybody makes a big deal about Mary and Maria's fingers being like her index or her middle finger and ring finger are the same length. Doesn't seem to be the case for the mannequin hands, though. It's my favorite Seinfeld episode. She's got mannequin hands, Jerry. We've been spotted. Maybe she'll leave us alone. Love that she follows him out. What are you doing, kiting that poor nurse? I'm just getting my DBD practice in. Practicing my fast vaults. Insomniac. She drops astral rings. Don't do that. Don't say things like that. You're gonna make me go and run some BCNMs. I don't even need astral rings. Came in kind of late. Have you tried warping out in front of the hotel and seeing what's around there yet? We have. We have. Oh, she's gone back to her starting position. Yeah, this right now is the front of the hotel. So there's like this little brick area and a gate, a little road, and then a bunch of textured dirt. Yeah, I love the floating door there. Alright. Let's look around the nurse's office. Same kind of tray of tools. Art, 1932, Brookhaven. Art. It sure is. Hey, I just went to the cardiologist last Friday. They didn't have any posters like this hanging up. Pars 2. We've seen this book in a few different places already. Medical dictionary. A lot of the same assets from Brookhaven. Same filing cabinets. Same computer. Keyboard, printer, the K-Seruk Pertinter, 105C, hospital something, ST10. And then the most important thing in this room, confidential medical record for patient MSS. Mary Shepherd Sunderland. This one's not being coy or ambiguous or anything like a lot of the other Brookhaven patient files and things like that. This one actually has Mary's initials. This is the stand-in for the medical scene in the OG. I mean, that's pretty weak if that is the case, compared to full-on dialogue with Mary's doctor. I'm still not entirely sure why they didn't include that in the remake. You see the damn tape recorder and the headphones. It's a flashback. One of your little memories of the past type of things. Torso Interior Anatomy, 1932, Brookhaven. A lot of stuff that's not very easy to read, but you can definitely see cancer out of all of the words that are kind of too smudged, too low res to really make out. Which Mary's condition was never explicitly said in the original or in the remake. Like, it's just that damn disease. But a lot of people have speculated it was some form of cancer. Lateral view of human head. Lateral view of human head, 1932 Brookhaven. With little red, bloody looking spots on it. And particularly this dark strip over the cerebral aqueduct. I assume she contracted something from Toluca Lake itself, a waterborne disease of some kind. No, didn't you guys play Book of Memories on the Vita? A college student coughed on her, or sneezed on her. That's actually a thing that happens in the Book of Memories joke ending. Bunch of college students at Silent Hill for vacation. And there's a scene of them walking down a hallway past James and Mary. And one of them sneezes right on Mary's face. And James is like, what if you catch something? And Mary's like, I'll be fine, don't worry about it. Same lab coat and nurse's outfit, stuff that you find in Brookhaven. I think other than the MSS patient folder, nothing new or unique in any of these assets. It's all just reused stuff from Brookhaven. More importantly, there's no cans and no light bulbs. Yami. Because of the short message, he was suffering from the Silent Hill phenomenon. And you can pass it to others by sneezing. Yeah. That is a real thing that happened. Short message had a memo describing the Silent Hill phenomenon and likened it to COVID. They actually mentioned COVID by comparison. In that it has mostly psychological symptoms that can spread from person to person. Because the short message is trying to establish why Silent Hill stuff can happen anywhere in the world and not just in Silent Hill. So they stuck in that memo. And it's one of the silliest fucking things ever. That's really cool. I didn't hear that. No. I will literally pause this and pull the memo up right now and read it for you word for word. Notes. Let's see, the Silent Hill phenomenon from Silent Hill: The Short Message. The Silent Hill phenomenon. The suicide rate has increased around the world, in large part due to the struggles brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, with countries still unsure how best to handle the issue. These trying times have also given rise to a strange phenomenon in many areas. Those affected suddenly claim to see fog, even on fair weather days, and lose consciousness shortly after. This has come to be known as the Silent Hill phenomenon, named after a similar event that occurred in an eponymous U.S. town. The first to propose a theory explaining why this could be happening is Dr. Blanked Name, a social psychologist at Blanked Out University, who had the following to say on the matter. To one who is psychologically unstable, fog represents uncertainty and sensory illusions. When in a state of high stress, one's vision may become obscured or tunneled, as if one is wandering through a dense fog or mist. Societal uncertainty or apprehension about the future manifests as fog, thus blurring the lines between illusion and reality.
As time goes on, we are seeing more and more cases of the Silent Hill phenomenon. In response, Dr. Whatever calls for a rapid rebuilding of society, as well as stronger emphasis on the counseling and mental health care for the young. That's an actual memo. That is a real note that you can find in an actual Silent Hill game. Employee elevator key. We'll get that once we open up the briefcase. Now we've got a bunch of other places to look around. Another clock at 10 past 9 and 15 seconds. Bronze deer statue, we've seen that in several places. Confused mannequin who just wants to hide. Okay. Silent Hill 4 and Homecoming took place outside Silent Hill, so it's nothing new. It's nothing new, but here's the thing. Even Silent Hill 3 takes place outside of Silent Hill. The mall, you experience an otherworld in the mall. You're not in Silent Hill when that is happening. You don't go to Silent Hill until halfway through Silent Hill 3. Here's the thing. Cheryl, Heather, is from Silent Hill. She has a god growing inside of her that is thanks to a ritual performed in Silent Hill. Walter Sullivan is from Silent Hill and is performing a ritual that comes from the cult that is based around there. Silent Hill Homecoming takes place in Shepherd's Glen, which is right on the other side of the lake from Silent Hill. It's literally on Lake Toluca. It shouldn't bother people? I disagree. Those games gave reasons for why Silent Hill could be experienced outside of the town. There were things connecting them to the town. Short Message didn't have that. There was nothing tying it to the town other than a flimsy Silent Hill phenomenon note. Nobody was from there. Nobody had been there. It's never mentioned outside of that singular note. Silent Hill Ascension, same thing. Silent Hill is in the title, and it's never mentioned in the story or from the characters at all. Nobody's from there. Nobody's doing rituals that originate from there. It's a completely different cult. So, like, those things had absolutely nothing to do with Silent Hill. Now, with that said, like, I'm not one of those people who's, like, shitting on Silent Hill F for taking place in Japan. I just hope that they don't do what those things did, where there's no reason for it to be happening. Like, if it doesn't at least have some sort of connection. That there's a cult that exists in Japan that eventually goes to Silent Hill and becomes the Order, since it takes place in the 60s, like well before Silent Hill 1. There's got to be a character that connects it. There's got to be a ritual that connects it. There's got to be something there to connect it to Silent Hill. Like, it can't just be, here's a bunch of people experiencing their own personal trauma, purgatory, otherworld without any kind of connecting fiber. Because at that point, it is Silent Hill in name only. Like, other than the title of the game, there is no connection. That stuff you can absolutely have a problem with. Again, I'm not as a huge fan of this series, I'm not saying I have a problem with games taking place outside of the town. There's plenty of examples of that happening in the series already. There needs to be a reason. There needs to be some sort of meaningful connection as to why. Not a throwaway note, or nothing at all in the case of Ascension. Hey, the original briefcase. And music box from the OG. The Cinderella music box, along with a glass slipper. Maybe the origin of evil came from F. We'll see. That'd be fine. Like I said, maybe White Claudia was originally a flower that was native to Japan, that somebody who was a aspiring cultist took with them after the events of the game and brought it to New England. Just something meaningful connecting it. Not just a note that's like, I don't know, it's a phenomenon. Sometimes people see fog. It's happening all over the world. It's like COVID. People are killing themselves. It needs to be more than that. Or, again, like Ascension, where it's nothing. It was aliens? Even that would be fine. I'm all for UFO endings are the canon endings. Just something meaningful to connect it. I'm a huge fan of the UFO endings being the canon endings. I even talk about it in the iceberg, in the Silent Hill 2 iceberg video. Isn't that type of dog originally from Japan? Yes, along with the people who made the game. That's the joke. That's the joke. That's how joke endings work. It's a Shiba Inu, a Japanese breed of dog, a Japanese development team. They even got Guy Sihi, an American actor, to speak Japanese. Although, because Bloober Team is Polish, the dog ending for the remake, they have Luke Roberts speak Polish instead, because that's their twist on it. He lived in Japan so he could speak it a bit anyway. True. So, like, it was fine. It wasn't like he wasn't familiar with the language at all, but he was clearly not a native Japanese, is what I mean. Like, he was not a native Japanese speaker. The dog ending is in Polish? You're not shitting me? No, the dog ending for Remake is in Polish. You have Luke Roberts, or whichever actor. Actually, I've only ever heard it, the English actor version of the dog ending. Right now, we're playing the game with the Japanese dub. I've never heard the Japanese dub version of the dog ending. I assume that it's going to be the Japanese actor speaking Polish. I don't know. But if you're playing the English dub, it's Luke Roberts speaking Polish. 202. Yeah, now we can go do the mirror puzzle. Sad there was no Eddie gut with a rotating pizza. Yeah. We didn't get the silly blooper reel, essentially, with all the characters having fun being silly as part of the credits. OG dog ending is just Team Silent doing Silent Hill 2 shitposting, pretty much. Same thing for the UFO ending for Silent Hill 3. The lyrics for the Silent Hill 3 UFO ending credit song that literally starts off with, "Aren't you tired of that UFO ending?" Like, Silent Hiru no Uta. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the sweetest of them all? Peel away the shiny skin, see the rotting flesh within. Also, we're going off of the original story version of Sleeping Beauty. Not the adaptation. Not the Disney movie. This is one of those Mandela effect, very popular Mandela effect topics. The phrase mirror, mirror, sorry, Snow White. The phrase mirror, mirror on the wall is not in the Disney movie. It's magic mirror on the wall. But a lot of people claim, like, I watched it 1,000,000 times when I was a kid. It was mirror, mirror. It's one of those, like, ingrained in the culture, in the consciousness for so long. Mandela effect. It's fun. Hello, Clarice also isn't in Silence of the Lambs, and Darth Vader never says, "Luke, I am your father." All of these things. Berenstein. It's Berenstain. I feel like a lot of it was just like the pronunciation behind it. Like when I was a kid, we had those books, and I always heard it pronounced Berenstein Bears. Like, but the pronunciation doesn't always match the way it's written out. People, especially with like kids, will mispronounce things. Rachel and I had another one we were talking about the other day when anybody else was little, did you ever refer to a particular dessert as sherbet? Anybody else ever enjoy sherbet? It's sherbet. Rachel and I were just talking about that the other day. We're like, our parents called it sherbet. We called it sherbet. We grew up saying sherbet. It's sherbet. Sorbet. I know, sorbet is a whole different thing. But yeah, it's spelled sherbet, and finding that out ruined my life. I'm sorry. Don't believe Nub. He's just trying to Mandela affect you. It's really the ice cream Stewart. Thank you for that announcement, Yami. Okay, chat. Big decision time. Rotten apple or ripe apple? I'll put it to a vote. I'll put it to a vote so you can use scam points. Additional votes. 1,000 scam points per vote. For 1 minute. There you go. Place your votes. Rotten apple, ripe apple. No, I clicked. I was alt-tabbed out to make the poll, and when I clicked back into Silent Hill 2, it selected the fucking apple. Last save? We'll load a save. Jesus. Get scammed. Get stick bugged. Hold on. Get stick bugged. Get scammed. Fucking losers. Oh my god. God, I'm such a fuck up. No, this is after the thing. No, this is all the way back here. Okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm just practicing my speed run. so funny. Oh my god. You're in the way. Anybody getting deja vu? Rotten 1, by the way? Okay. I will respect the poll. We will run this back. It's just the Mandela effect. He hasn't done this yet. Oh my god. Chat, please. Chat, please. Everyone's turning on me so quickly. I'm doing my best. Okay. That's everything except for 202. We'll come back to 202 when we have the key. So, mannequin room. We need the apple. Sweet chops. Get the key. Mary's Shepherd Sunderland. Look at the cool thing. Uh, 213. $14. Employee elevator. Nurse. Okay. Open this. Now we can go do 202. It's like nothing ever happened. Shit, that's not right.
Give me that. Rotten Apple won the vote. Thank you so much for using your scam points wisely to vote for the Rotten Apple, which is being chosen now. Way to go, chat. You did it. Nub's been practicing this puzzle off stream now. But I may have done it recently. Whew. Okay, and then yeah, then now we can go in this room. And it spawns in our Snow White figurine. Are we fancy about it? Are we feeling fancy about these figurines? No. No, we are not. And it also spawns in some new stuff here. Hirimi, thank you for the raid. It's Mr. Lakeview himself. Somebody's pearl necklace on the bedside drawers. Why is Oleander talking shit about me here? Because we found a portrait of you in the game. You're Mr. Lakeview. I'm getting stick bugged. Was that hallway on fire? I mean, it's definitely a, like, weird smoky effect. Kinda looks similar to fire. Which one was the mannequin room? The ballroom? No, it's the hall next to the cloakroom. Here it is. Mr. Lakeview himself. Because I was referencing back in the day when you had your sweet chops. Now you've doxed my last name.
Oh, I showed a photo as well, so... FBI is going to be at your door any minute, bud. Okay, so we get what looked like a fire smoke effect there with the mannequins coming out of the hallway. And now we are starting to see the hotel start to change. The wallpaper and everything is damaged. Pictures are ripped. Some of them are still up, but most of them are ripped away now. But before I screw something else up and have to speedrun again, I'm going to make a save, and this is where I'm going to have to call it for tonight.